Hi, welcome to the Stockinit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run Knit. And this is episode 139. The one with announcements.
Yes.
We were talking for a long bit before we got recording, so it's a late one, so if Amy yawns a lot, not to inception that into your brain or anything. But I know that you had an exciting day, so tell us all about your exciting day.
Yes. We decided to take a middle of the week vacation and took the kids up to Valley Fair, which is the Minnesota amusement park. As far as I'm aware, it's the big one. Mm-hmm. And
Lucy might be bigger. Does Duluth have one? I don't. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Down in these parts.
Yeah. So we got up, packed a lunch so that we could escape the park prices for a little while. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
It was worse than the county fair. We went to the county fair, bought some stuff. Everything at Valley Fair was worse by a lot. And it was an adventure. We got up there about a half an hour after the park opened and rode some rides. Lucy was getting onto rides by the skin of her teeth because
Pipe.
yes. So they have just a PVC pipe pole thing that they've wrapped with tape, and that is the height that you need to be, and so they hold the pole like behind the kid and they measure and da da da. Well, yeah, don't tell anybody, but officially she's an eighth of an inch shy of that mark.
Mm-hmm.
So an eighth of an inch shy, and they wouldn't give her the little wristband that allows her to skip the pole inspection every time she gets on a ride. So the pole inspection, we failed it once.
Uh-oh.
But for all day, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And that guy, even my husband said, that's the same guy that let us in the first time.
Yeah.
Just the second time he got more.
Because they rotated through.
Yeah. And the second guy, I don't know, same deal. Anyway, she made it in to a lot of them. And again, it was so close, I probably would have let the kid in too. Just, the pole and her hair, and you squint a certain way and you're like, well, yes, go. So close. And so they had a great time. We made the mistake of riding one of those water rides.
Mm-hmm. Early on?
Yes. But, that's usually better because you have time to dry off before you go home. But, my daughter ended up getting a clearance Snoopy shirt from somewhere, and some, girl, small, regular sized adult shorts that we had to, jimmy because, her jean shorts were just upsetting her so very much.
I bet.
And she didn't like it.
A girl after my own heart.
Yeah. So, it was one of those things where we rode the ride and we weren't totally clear on how wet you would get. Oh, this thing was just dumping buckets and buckets of water on you.
Express purpose.
Yeah. Totally to get yourself completely soaked head to toe. No joke. But I'm like, well, we learned our lesson. We're never doing that ride again. And then we got a snack, and we were kind of near that ride, and we're like, oh, those people don't know what they're doing. Just oh, they're in for a surprise. And so, we watched them all get really soaked. That was a lot of fun, and Justin was big enough to ride a lot of rides that he couldn't ride. Well, not that we've been to Valley Fair before. This is our first Valley Fair trip. But other roller coasters, he's finally at 53 inches or whatever. So all the roller coasters are good. He can ride any roller coaster. It's some of the advanced rides needs to be 40 or 54 inches. But and again, Valley Fair seems to be their numbers are higher than other parks. that I've been to. So
yeah, because Ellie could, when we were in Branson at Silver Dollar City, it seemed like she could go on most of them. I don't think there was, I think there was like maybe one or two that she wasn't allowed to go on.
yeah, so I think the Valley Fair is a little bit stricter on their height requirements. We went to Adventureland and everything there was 46 inches, not 48. So there were a few things that were 48 or 50, but those were the new rides that, you know, were, yeah, for adults more or less. But yeah, we had fun doing that. I only got out my knitting twice during a ride line. So the lines were pretty short and manageable going up on a Wednesday, and it wasn't too hot, and yeah, fun times had by all.
Yeah. It was funny you mentioned the prices at the county fair were reasonable, and I think it must be relative because Ellie went with school-age childcare to the county fair.
Yeah, not reasonable at all.
Yeah.
But when compared to the prices at Valley Fair,
okay,
everything there was at least $3 more than the county fair.
Wow.
I'm like, seriously, people? So like, it was like mini donuts was at least $1.50 more than the county fair. And drinks were insane.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted a Coke, that was $4 automatic. You know, don't even get started on a large one because, you know, just the regular one was $4. And yeah, so yeah, just too much.
They were gonna go for lunch, and they said to bring money for lunch. So I sent Ellie with $10, and I knew that she wouldn't be able to get a lot, but I was pretty sure that, you know, it would be enough. And then she was like, "Oh, we ate lunch before we went, Mom." And I was like, "Oh, so do you have a lot of money?" "No, I got a lemonade and some mini donuts." And I was like, "So you spent the whole $10 on junk food?" "Yeah, pretty much." It was really expensive though, and I spilled a little bit of the lemonade, and I was like, "Okay."
We did the same thing.
School-age childcare should tell us when they're going to feed our children, and just let them eat junk with all the money we send with them. But
I forget what my kids said that they got. I think Lucy had gotten a smoothie and popcorn, and that was it. That's all her $10 bought her. Smoothie and popcorn.
Wow.
Well, I'm probably.
So we arrived at the same dollar.
Kettle by ourselves. Yeah. And again, we also thought that they were going to be like buying a $7 sandwich.
Yeah.
And a pop or something, right? Like we thought that they were eating there. Nope. You have to spend everything on a snack.
Yeah.
I said the only benefit of spending the $10 at the fair for junk food was that you really couldn't go overboard. You know, you were able to buy whatever you wanted, but you couldn't like make yourself sick on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
like if they'd gone to the store, you could have gotten $10 worth of junk and really gotten sick.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Miss Ellsworth is down in Iowa at the first time that she's ever been away from home at a grandma overnight camp this week. So I miss her dearly, but she's having fun with my mom, and my mom left after my husband got back from the bike ride across Iowa. So he dipped his tires in the Missouri and then the Mississippi and made it across. But other than that, just been crazy hectic at work. You can tell when things are hectic because I rub the tip of my nose nervously and I get a little sore spot. That's my thing. Just thought I'd let you know. If you see this appear, that's because I'm stressed out.
Okay.
Red spot in the nose.
Wow.
Stressed out. Work is stressful. We have an upgrade on Saturday, so yep. Hopefully that all goes well and everything's back to normal next week.
I hear you.
Yep. All right. So jibber jabber. Blah blah blah. I had a little bit of enabling / I'm going to sweeten our fingering weight KAL pot. So in addition to our July-August fingering weight KAL, I have two new patterns out that are fingering weight patterns. And so you can enter into the Stockinette Zombies fingering weight KAL in July and August. And then into September, I'm going to do a giveaway for if you knit my patterns as part of that. So I got from Acme, I almost said Acme, sorry, our couch bears on this canvas bag. And then there is, so this will be for the shawl, for the cool clavicle cover, which I released last week after we recorded, so I didn't get to mention it. And it works really well with variegated, so Jinx yarn, grabbed it at, really pretty. And that would be for if you knit the shawl, KAL. And then for the expanding community, we have the Fight Like a Girl in Yarn vs. Zombies, and that's a good looking hoe bag. Mm-hmm. And so I think I'll still take, I haven't quite figured out if I'm going to open a separate thread or if it'll all be via the blog, but I kind of want that to get me back into doing the blog. Mm-hmm. So justrunit.com. Yeah. Logistics, prizes are out there. Logistics are still in the works as to how you enter once you participate. Yep. In the KAL. So. Okay.
So it will be dual entry. You're going to enter into the prize thread for our KAL that's currently going on.
Yep.
And then also enter into wherever that ends up being.
Yes. Okay. And I'll most definitely blog about it no matter what. So that's at justrunit.com. Yes. Here's hoping I can get the gumption to get that back up and running.
Good.
Yep. What else do we have going on? We were going to briefly mention, as we said, the announcements. Our birthday kits, our 2014 birthday kits, are going to be going up for sale on August 22nd. That's a Friday. They'll be limited as they have been in years past, and we're still getting the component pieces together to get that price for you. But it will not be more than last year. So last year it was $40 plus $5 shipping. And once we get all the component pieces priced in, we'll have the exact number to tell you.
Yes.
But so stay tuned on that. But the birthday kits, they are coming August 22nd. And those are a pre-order and they ship out in October.
Yes. And it's whenever they get put together. We don't put it, because we started podcasting at Halloween time frame. So we have until the end of that month to get them down.
Yeah, except we'll be in Rhinebeck in the middle of the month.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Plane tickets have been purchased.
Mm-hmm. We're going.
So it's done deal.
It's for real, please. So yeah, that's exciting. I had somebody ask whether or not we were going to do the Stillwater Runaway, and my husband was like, well, I'm doing a bike ride before we go to Rhinebeck, so you could do it if you wanted. So I just sprung that on you just now. Didn't get to talk about it.
We're doing that.
We don't have to. I was just saying. Well,
okay.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Just have it in your thought processes.
I will.
Also, we have this thing called the Zombie Knitpocalypse that we'll be doing in 2015.
Uh-huh.
It's been a good month, you know.
Yeah. Sure.
We've had our baby. Might be sleeping more in longer stretches at night. Actually, we really shouldn't mix our metaphors.
No.
Well, yeah, I guess. The honeymoon is over on our little marriage, our yearly yarn wedding. And so the dates, which I didn't write down, but they're on our blog, zombieknitpocalypse.com. I guess website / blog. Mm-hmm. And we are going to do sign-ups Friday, September 6th. And then there will be open enrollment until Sunday, September 8th, which basically means anybody that signs up in that time frame will get a spot. Yes. So if you have a group of friends that wants to go, you all need to sign up in that time frame. After that Sunday, we will look at the numbers and go, ooh, that's a lot of people, or whatever, and either keep the spots open or shut it down and have a wait list, as we did last year. So right. A little bit different this year.
Yeah.
And
so there's no hard stop at the top for those 3 days. But then as soon as that's done,
Mm-hmm.
determination will be made on
Numbers.
after that, and a cap will be placed if it's already been reached due to the popularity during that weekend or whatever. Then chances are it could be gone on Monday.
Yep.
But
So you've got a window.
yes,
A
but
window for open enrollment.
but past experience tells me that there'll be people sitting on the fence, and but again, if you want to make sure that you get a spot,
Yes.
that's what you need to do.
The price will remain the same, so we're going to do $90. And unlike last year, where we booked the hotel for you, everything is going to be kind of like a day pass this year. So, or this year in 2015. So if we, if you get your spot, you pay your retreat fee. We will have negotiated prices at both the Marriott, which is new, and the Kaler for 2015, and you can jump in on that, but you are responsible for booking your hotel in 2015, which we think will be easier and clearer because we were just kind of middlemen on that whole process.
Yes. Yes, and again, we'll have threads open, so if you would like to find a roommate for the weekend, or so there'll be communication areas for you to be able to meet up with somebody or try to find that connection.
Mm-hmm.
But individuals will be handling their own travel. There's a lot of people who are like to book their hotel and flight together, or there's people who want to use their hospitality points at the certain hotel chain. All of that is good with us now.
Mm-hmm.
So go for it. Please book your own accommodations wherever you would like to. The event is going to be at the Marriott/Kaler, so that is where, if you want to
Centrally located.
Yeah, that's where it will be located. Everything out of those two hotels, kind of an expansion. It could be a couple blocks away, so be aware.
Yep. And in, again, new this year, we're going to have a cancellation policy. So if you cancel before 2015, so once the calendar hits 2015, it's all non-refundable. But if you cancel before 2015, we'll be giving you half of your money back, so $45 back.
Right. So this is just to simplify. There was no refunds officially last year, but people did receive some, and we just wanted to make sure that it was clear.
Yep.
This year it's going to be, you have until the calendar rolls into 2015 and to cancel. But if you have already submitted PayPal and you have paid through our official channel on the website, you're in. So yeah.
Yep. And I think that's all that needs to be said about that currently.
Yeah.
We can remind folks, September is a while away, although August is just a couple of days away.
Yes, it is.
Where did July go? And that is that. I didn't have any more administrative.
Good. Yay.
Announcements be had.
Yes.
Do you have any of those? No of those. You have a sad.
I have a sad. My spinning wheel started clunking, clunk, 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 and I was like, oh, and at first it was just like louder, and my husband commented on how it was louder, and I ignored it because I also had the woolly winder on, which is also kind of loud, at least compared to without the woolly winder. And then I moved back into a regular bobbin, and he was still complaining about it, and I looked over, I tried to tighten every screw, but the one I forgot was the hub screw. That's on the wheel in between where the handle is on my Ladybug and the red wheel. There's a circle and then the screws in there. That's the hub screw. I did not tighten that. Please, regular maintenance, tighten that screw. Basically, because it was clunk, 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 it had loosened enough that it was wiggling and it snapped. So I have half of a screw inside the shaft that turns the wheel, and the other screw is, precariously hanging on. And I fiddled with it for a couple days on my own while communicating with them, and ultimately I was like, yep, I give up. I figured out that the screw had snapped, and I sent it off to them this Monday, and it is, FedEx on its way over to them, and hopefully I will have it back soonly. The thing that also made me feel good about sending it away, one, they're going to take care of it. So after, the shipping to them is on my, end, like I have to pay that, but they're going to pay everything after that. So they're going to fix it and then send it back to me. So that's great news. But the other comfort that I had was that Nancy Ellis, Ellis Sheep Farm, offered to loan me a wheel. If for some reason they call me back and say, we're not going to be able to give you your wheel back for another month, then I'm like, oh no wheel for a month. I at least know that the local gal in Zumbrota is willing to loan me a wheel. So that was wonderful to hear, and I thank her kindly. If you're in the area, I highly recommend checking her out. She has all sorts of brands of wheels and looms, and has a sheep farm, so if you go at the right time, you can see babies. And I think that was it. But yes, that was very stressful. I mean, I don't know. It's a big piece of equipment to me. I mean, I have tablets and electronics and things like that cost the same amount of money, but for some reason I'm used to handling those, and I kind of know what I'm doing, and I'm not scared of them. But when something happened to my wheel, I don't know what to do. And I got some confidence, and I brought out manuals, and I opened it up enough to figure out that that screw had snapped. And so then it was like, all right, I'm done. I believe that the shaft part is going to have to be replaced. Either that, or somebody's going to have a special trick to getting snapped screws out of steel rods.
Yeah.
So no, my end of my tour de fleece was pretty sad.
Yeah.
And
you had to drop out.
Yes, I had to drop out. Yeah, my equipment malfunctioned. My bike fell apart.
And they didn't just have another one to hand you like
no,
they do
exactly.
on the tour.
But what I will say, Shack was very responsive. The email response was back and forth and quick as you please. I think there was like a lag around lunchtime, but then I get the emails going again. Very nice. They had already offered to take it from me before I hemmed and hawed for 3 days, right? So I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something minor that I could fix. So I asked them what it could be, and I looked online, Googled a bunch of terms. I did all the research and whatnot that I could, and then I realized, yes, I can't do it, and I sent it off. But yeah. Pete, a public service announcement, when you're tightening all those screws and you think, okay, the most important one is the one between the wheel and the front, it's like the hub screw. All the rest of them have to do with the treadles and the footmen and whatever, but the main mechanism that connects it to the wheel, because you're treadling and it's thunking, and for some reason I always thought that was footmen, or I couldn't figure it out, and my brain went everywhere but that little piece that's in between, and didn't even realize there was a screw there. So yeah.
Okay.
I will be
good to know.
Seriously maintaining, and anytime it sounds a little noisy, I'm going to be going back and checking to see if that's loose, because now I know what it looks like. And if it's loose, I'm going to be tightening it and getting going. So basically, I think what I had done was I had left it loose too long and it snapped. And that is my bad. But, also, a screw that snaps is also kind of bad luck. I mean, they shouldn't snap like that. I wasn't putting that much stress on it. It was just combination of things, but Shack is taking care of it. I just have to and I've already done, is send it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they take care of it from there.
Excellent. Hopefully you get it back soon.
Yes.
I'm wearing NFO, which I'm going to have some wonderful hat hair for you. This is the Appleby by Kupnitz out of her Toasty collection that we reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
It is out of Titus, Bahramu Titus, in the E-Cup or E-Cup colorway. It's very like what I would consider like peacock colored in a lot of other colorways. It's, I love the yarn. It's got British alpaca, and it's very warm. Like my head, I can feel my head kind of cooling down now. I don't know that I enjoy, and the pattern was written for this yarn. I don't know that I enjoy. I enjoy the combination, but I don't think it's an ideal combination, if that makes sense. It's got a halo to it. Can you see my halo? And then you're combining that and the fuzziness with having a halo with a lot of cabling. And so I think something with a tighter ply to it, like perhaps a 2-ply, where you get those shadows that we learned about in class, would be a little better. I mean, it's not that you can't see the cables. I just think that they would really pop if it was a tighter ply and less of a fuzzy yarn, in my opinion. Again, a lovely hat.
It's also a dark color, because when you have cables, a lighter color is better too.
Yep. So I love it. It used half of the ball, so I could do another one if I wanted. My modification was I went down, so the smallest size was supposed to be for 20 inches, and my head isn't 20 inches. I went down to 144 stitches cast on, which is 2 pattern repeats less than the pattern was written for, and it's still really, it's spacious. It's not like it's like to my head. So I don't know if it's supposed to be a really huge, positive ease.
It seemed like it in the pictures, I thought. But
I don't have them here. I was going to grab that bag and then I didn't. I finished my literally over the top for my mom. She is a vision in pink. She really enjoyed it. I kind of gave her the well, I knit you a Tink Tank last year and I haven't really seen you wear it. Do you really, I understand that you like to keep them special because I knit it, and but are you going to wear this if I give it to you? Because I could probably find somebody with a similar bust size to give this to. And she was kind of like, at first she, oh no, you should give it to a friend that is, I don't know how to style these things. And then I was like, well, I need to have a picture of you in it, regardless of whether you keep it. And she's like, well, what would I wear with it? I'm like, you're wearing a gray tank top. I would wear it over the top of a gray tank top. And then she put it on and she was kind of like, this is going home with me. And then she wore it. She told me she wore it on Monday to her doctor's appointment that she took Ellie along with. And so, yeah, I think as a mom, it would be, I'm trying to imagine like if Ellie was some sort of jewelry designer and she gave something to me that not only did she design, but she made. As a mom, I would be like, did you see this? My daughter not only made this, but she designed. Parents like to brag about their kids. I'm bragging about myself right now, but parents like to brag about their kids. So she took that home with her, and it looked great on her, and it used just barely into that 5th ball of the Knit Picks Lindy chain, and I really liked it. It grew a lot in the blocking. So when she tried it on, it was kind of form-fitting, and then when I blocked it, it was nice and drapey and flowy on her. So yeah. And then I have a hoe. It's a good-looking hoe. I have my fishnets. I don't have the ends woven in, so it's mostly a hoe. Got a spacious OMG heel and just some patterning on the top. I didn't make them matchy-matchy. This one is almost ready for the spacious OMG heel, and I did something completely different on the top of this one. They're going to be like those socks that the teenagers wear that don't even match colors, right?
Right.
I'm cool like that.
They're fraternal twins.
Yes. They weren't meant to be friendly friends. So, still love the gradation. Still think it's genius.
Okay.
And those are my finished objects.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm still knitting away on my
Well,
stuff.
you cast on so many things, and
Yeah, it's my downfall really, because then I forget to read patterns and have to rip things out because one pattern says to slip that stitch and the other pattern says, nah, you don't need to.
don't do that. That would just be silly.
Yeah. So I've gotten myself into trouble, and then, just all sorts of...
I start to feel like twitchy, like what should I work on when I get into your state? But we've had this conversation. We are the odd couple.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I've enjoyed working on things equally and just picking up one and whatnot. But yeah, it is getting to the point now where I feel like I need to finish some things.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my gamut sweater. I've already forgotten the name of the pattern. The Bresden seems right. It's on my project pages, and it's heavily modified because theirs is a sport weight. Well, it's not modified; it's just more drapey. Like I'm knitting with a sport weight in the gauge, fingering weight in the gauge that they gave for their pattern. But yeah, this one I forgot to decrease the 40 stitches from the ribbing up to here, so I was like a lot further along and I had to rip back, do the decreases and start over. But since I knew that I had potential yarn shortage situation and decreasing that amount like after already knitting 5 inches or 3 inches or whatever would look really odd.
Yeah.
It was enough fabric that it was not going to just, it wasn't like one stitch where you can just make it work. Nope, it was a problem. So I redid it. So most of my car knitting today was getting to the point where I needed to rip out and ripping it out and then starting again. So it's already restarted and has significant growth.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't
Still looking lovely.
Yes. Wasn't the only thing that I worked on. I worked on my literally over the top for my daughter as well. So a lot of that discovery happened after I had bound off and cast on.
Yeah.
For the over the top. So we have the front and we have gone over the top and we have part of the back. But again, as you can see visually here, look at that. All of that still have to go down.
The going back down is the hard part.
That's a long ways. I thought it was a long ways just to get to where I had to go over the top. But over the top was really quick.
Yeah.
It was like, boop, done.
But again, it looks long until
Yeah.
you stretch it out on a daughter, and then it gets significantly
and
less
again,
deep.
I don't know. It is what it is, but it's quick, and I've found it pleasant, and I am going to knit it on the bus so that I can.
You need an impatient knitter marker, because to me it feels like, because you're doing half of the stitches at a time, it was like, oh my gosh, look at all those inches I knit,
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you were doing all of them at the same time, it would be like, oh god, I only added half an inch to that,
Oh yeah.
So
I usually go in rows. I can get 6 rows of that done each way on the bus, so 12 rows a day of bus knitting. I thought that was pretty quick for bus knitting because I don't get a lot of time on the bus. Well, I did bring something. Oh, so I forgot to bring another thing.
Amy cast on all the things.
I did. Oh,
So many that she...
I have a finished object, I guess. I put booties on this guy.
Mm.
Yay, she's done. Booties. Finished object. Pretty.
She's super cute.
Yeah. And she had a dress for a very long time, but booties happened this week, so booties are done.
And that's the Bakery Bear.
Yes, Bakery Bear, Briny Bear podcast, Bakery Bear podcast. I forget. But yes, this is the Bakery Bear from Briny Bears. And she's cute. She might need bloomers. Her dress is a little short. That's alright. She's
Maybe that's all the style with the bears these days.
Yeah, the bears, they don't need pants. I started the ink. And you have an interesting collar construction. So this is just first part of one side of the collar, and then I go to the other side of the collar, and then I start going. So you just, I don't know, I'm doing this part right here.
Good visual.
So I haven't memorized this stitch pattern yet, but I believe it goes all the way down the front of the sweater, so I have a feeling it will get memorized. It's got a few complications with the cables, as in, like, sometimes your cabling in the one side needs to turn into pearls, and sometimes your cabling and it needs to stay straight or turn from pearls into straights, and I think that's what's giving me a problem on the memorization. But it started, and it's still pretty, so that's why I want to keep working on it. But yeah, this was just one night I was like, I'm gonna cast this on, and so got like a little bit, and I cast another thing on, and I cast another thing on. The thing that I thought was in this bag was my Wild Thing stuffed animal. And so I have 3 limbs of the Wild Thing done, and you make the claws first thing. So claws of the second arm are almost done. I mean, they're done, but the second arm needs to be done, so I can work those in there. And then I will be working on his pajamaed booty, and yeah,
Cute. It's a super cute pattern.
it's very fun.
By Susan Gladino.
Yes, Susan Gladino opened a Ravelry group. So if you really like her patterns and you're into stuffies, go out there and join the group and see what all the commotion's about. There's a lot of people introducing themselves and posting their stuffies, and it's cute. And Susan was a great moderator, or still is a great moderator of other boards. So I think that having her own boards will be very special. And so another pattern that I cast on is the Ginny cardigan. So these are my quote-unquote Rhinebeck sweaters, but they're my cast-on Ida's sweaters too. So
I love that green.
this is totally my Stash Guild stuff, right? Like, I get all these things on the needle because that's going to eventually use 4 skeins of yarn or 5 skeins of yarn. And
it's an investment in Stash Guild alleviation.
yes, this is true. So I have a wrister of Ginny sweater.
Gorgeous wrister.
This is Dancing Dog Dye Works in her Tweedy DK, and I started yet another sweater. Oh, the Poetry in Motion, the Sunspots for adults. Right now, that's just a basic top-down raglan, so it's not very interesting to look at. And the Ginny pattern actually has you starting with your cake, you know, because it's the back. So like it's.
But you're doing the sleeve first?
But I'm doing the eating my vegetables first. I'm doing the sleeves first.
That's very, very
that and sleeves
adult of you.
They're, you know, shorter around, so I don't know. And I did it with the other sweater, and it seemed to work out well for me. Like, as in, like, oh, I got those sleeves done. Now as soon as I get this body done, it's gonna be zoom zoom. You know, yay, excitement. And I know that having this worsted or DK weight sweater going is gonna be, yay, you know, so much more exciting because all the fingering weight ones, just crazy. Yeah, that's all mine. That's a lot.
That's all?
I know.
Don't mind me.
And I didn't even bring 2 of them with me.
I'm just rocking the one sock. So I have my other sock, which I'm hoping to wrap up soonly, and then in my sweaters bag from Brown Dog Bags. I cast on the Lawrence, which is a Brooklyn tweed wool, people, winter of 2012, garter stitch tunic with cowl neck. And I have written down, it was gifted to me by Tara27. So I am giving back to the folks that gave, or I'm giving them props anyway. Thank you, Tara. And I've had this in my queue for a while. I cast it on, I'm using, if you didn't recognize, Amy's Punky Plum,
Hey,
Miracle Jen. Yeah, it's very different in the worsted weight merino versus the BFL. I still love it. I love it lots. A lot. I'm loving every single bit of it. 100% merino, worsted weight. Oh, do you want to compare balls? Sure. It's similar. Yours just looks a lot darker knit up than mine did.
Yeah. And I see a lot more pops of pink in this one anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe I selected, my ball selection was that I picked ones that didn't have as many.
Oh, that's right. We got to choose.
Well, we didn't.
No.
But no.
Okay.
Because we just got just ours. We
You're
didn't
right.
ship those out.
No, we didn't.
So, but I think I chose the ones that had less pink in them to work first. I don't know why. Anyway, it was, I cast on and it was a comically large cowl on me. So when I put it on, it was like, you know, with a little bit of stretch, because this is still on the needles, which is holding it a little taut. It's garter, as I mentioned. It was like down to my belly button. So I was like, I'm not really going to enjoy that. Again, it's really large on her in the picture, but so I kind of not jerry-rigged. I fixed it by going down to what they eventually have you decreasing down to for the neck hole. And then they have you binding off and picking back up, and I was like, I'm not gonna mess with that. I have no time for that. But what I learned today, and I am using, it's got welts, which is a new to me technique. Miss Amy Beth has talked enough about, oh, you silly people that are knitting garter in the round and doing all the purling. I do this thing where you turn and you work it from the wrong side and the right side, both. I went and I found the technique, and it's easily memorizable. So you get to the point where you need to turn, and you slip the marker and you slip the next stitch, just slip, easy for me to say, and then you slip, flip, slip, turn is the mantra. So it's slip the marker and the stitch, you flip the yarn to the front, you slip those two, the marker and that stitch back, and then you turn and you just start knitting. And it's really nice because it causes and I lost my place where it is now. Oh, it's right next to the marker. You don't have to do the jogless garter in the round, because it kind of, I mean, you can see it if you really look, but this is going to be on the back of my neck. So I'm going to need to decide whether or not I want to do it because the rest of the body is in garter as well. And I'll have to figure out, it's got kind of a lace motif down the front and the back, asymmetrically. And I'll have to figure out if I can do that from the wrong side and the right side. But this will be the side that's showing. And then, yeah, you flip it inside out and you do a couple of maneuvers before because how do you put it on? This part's going to be folded over. So this is how it's going to look, actually. And again, I don't think I'm going to make it as long as it calls for. I can't remember how long I think I'm supposed to do like 11 inches of garter or something before. There's no way I'm going to do that. Be really big. A comically large cowl, which is a design feature, but I can also choose to not include that design feature.
So and it looked like it hit her
where this one's hitting me.
Yeah, like maybe a little bit lower, but not down to her belly button. That's for sure. You needed to modify it for your body.
Yeah,
I mean, now it looks like, yeah, because this is significantly above her bust.
Yeah, her bust line is. Anyway.
So
I saw other projects out there after I went and looked. Because at first I was kind of like, well, I'm just not going to knit this pattern then. And then I went out and looked, and other people had done the same. They had modified the cowl to make it more them. Right? So it is what it is. Learn some new things, how to do garter.
And it will be recognizable as the pattern when you're done, right?
And this yarn just loves the garter. It just loves it. It's like,
it does.
I love me some garter, is what the yarn is saying. I think Miracle Jen taught it to say that.
Now, before you leave.
Yes, you're going to love yourself some garter, so you better learn how to love yourself some garter. So other than the bags, I had some enabling, which came last week, and I showed Amy, and very much my colors, but I wasn't going to be a wool pig and have it all be in one episode. And so this is Pigeon Roof Studios, and they have a line of dyeing that they do that's called their Glow series, and it's just very deeply layered colors. So in their write-up on the website, which I could read to you and totally sold me on getting this yarn, was like, it's a very labor-intensive process of dyeing this yarn, because they start with the color and then they layer on another color and then they layer on another color. I mean, like, they don't just stick the yarn in a dye pot and have it done, you know, like it's labor-intensive. But look at it glow. Oh, look at those greens. If this isn't a Megan color, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. There's some bronzes in there. There's a little bit of blacky blues. And of course my chartreuse. I just love it in every single way. And of course it's, again, raining fingering weight sweater quantities. This is their high twist sock, which is a superwash merino, 400 yards skein. So I have 1,200 yards to do something with. But I love it. And I kind of stalked it because I found she had like one skein in the shop, and I was like, well, I'm not going to just buy one skein because I'm trying to get rid of my one skein. So I waited until they had and regularly checked to see whether or not I could get it. And again, that's Pigeon Roof Studios, and they have it on a variety of bases. There was a really pretty merino silk that they have their Glow series on as well. They got some DK up there as well, Cassiopeia or something like that. It's very pretty green as well. I like their greens. Apparently.
Yeah.
But I think I got it from like an online retailer, like Fiberfix or something, and I don't think they're around anymore. Anyway, enabling.
Yep.
I bought things.
Our LYS has Malintosh now. Ooh. I saw in a newsletter.
I saw that as well.
I was like, I'm tempted to go check that out tomorrow.
Yeah, and she said something about sweater quantities, which caught my eye.
Yeah, but she also said that it was hard to get it in stock, so come while you can, kind of thing. I'm not sure if they're cleaned out yet, but they announced it on Monday, and today's Wednesday, so hopefully I can get there tomorrow. I don't really need to buy it. I just want to see it all in person. And I do have a skein of yarn that needs to be returned or exchanged. One of those extras, right? You bought extra because you might need it and you didn't need it.
In general, I've been trying to keep myself from casting on tanks and stuff, though.
Yeah.
I've been like, well, no, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
It will be winter soon, even though it's kind of the dead of summer, or what should be summer now. So, but yes, I agree. It's definitely like, oh my goodness, this is a substantial weight of yarn, and I don't have to knit as many stitches around as I do in a lighter weight.
Yeah, and then all of my garments are gonna have sleeves, so it's like, oh my gosh, all these tanks have been so lickety split.
Yeah, that's true.
Now I'm knitting fingering weight garments with sleeves.
Yeah, well, but like you said, they're like socks, but on bigger needles.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah. It did not bother me knitting those sleeves, and so the raglan ones, it's like, yeah, I would rather, it says it's top down, I can knit the sleeves later or last, that's fine. But these are both bottom-up sweaters where you have to knit one sleeve, two sleeve, and then the body before you can go and finish the sweater. So I'm like, I think I'd rather get the sleeves out of the way. And
yeah, this one's a short sleeve. It's kind of like the Miranda, which I like.
yeah, that's true.
Because it, like, even when she in the picture as
She
it's
layered
styled,
it.
she's got something else underneath. I could see me rocking this at Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
I could see me rocking one of the
Okay.
days.
Going for more than one day now.
No, not the actual New York cheap and
Yeah.
wool. I'm like glamorizing our whole
Yes, okay.
anniversary
Yeah.
trip where
Yeah.
I'll be a very stylish person, not like
Wearing a
Minnesota
sweater,
Megan.
yes. Okay.
New York Megan is very stylish and put together.
She will not be wearing this T-shirt.
Maybe not. I also won't have to deal with children yelling at me, so it's glamorized, like there's a shine on it. So, anyway, we've blathered.
Bye.
Bye, Ufta.